Welcome to the Board of Education business meeting this Wednesday, February 15th. I'd like to ask everyone to please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So this evening, we have a treat for everyone. We have some Facebook phenoms in the audience. They have taken Facebook by storm with their good deed. And I'd like to turn it over to Rich.
Good evening, everyone. That was a good way to put it. I think it's now 2 Saturdays ago, I received a whole bunch of text messages. I'm not on Facebook, but I did receive a bunch of copies of text messages, and it was kind of a long paragraph from a community member that was so impressed with our students that they felt the need to go out in public, and they posted a couple of pictures. We tracked down who the students were, and they've become Facebook phenoms, and they've actually been spoken about quite a bit here in the district because we're quite proud of them. But I think we have 2 people that would like to speak. Miss Weeks, and who is the assistant principal at the Freshman Center. She would like to speak about the students. And then I see our athletic director, Francisco Herrera, that also would like to mention it, because I'm not, obviously they are wrestlers themselves. This occurred after a wrestling match. So would Miss Weeks, Mr. Herrera, would you like to come on up and invite the kid? Absolutely.
There they are. Social media for a good reason. Yay.
It does happen.
It does happen. Good evening, Mr. Lochner, members of the Board of Education, and the Brentwood community. I am the assistant principal at the Freshman Center and very proud leader of our phenomenal Freshman Center students, as well as former Freshman Center students. Our mission as a district and a school is to provide our students not only with a strong academic background to be successful on any path they choose, but to also help develop their character and kindness so they may share their unique talents and passions in making our world a better place in which to live. Tonight, we recognize and celebrate 2 of our Brentwood School District exemplars of this mission: Tyler Seda, current Freshman Center student, and Julian Wood, current high school student. Together, after a recent wrestling match at William Floyd School District, Tyler and Julian took it upon themselves to clean up multiple bags of trash that had been left behind by the match's audience in order to leave the place better for everyone. This act of kindness and consideration was noticed by one of the William Floyd parents who shared it through the Shirley Mastic Beach Moms and Pops page. Our students' willingness to engage in a selfless act of kindness reminds us that every day our students go into our world and make it a better place. We are all so proud of you and know that you will both remain an example of the unique and wonderful community that is Brentwood. Tyler and Julian, congratulations on this recognition.
Right.
Small but valuable and important. I know your coach had some words as well.
I just want to start off, congratulate him once again, but I want to bring something to light that at first you're going to be wondering, why is he even going there? But so this past December, we had the fortunate ability to watch the World Cup being played. 32 nations from around the world got to play and enjoy it. But one of the phenomena that happened within this World Cup wasn't even the victories. It was the act of kindness by the Japanese culture. So I don't know if you're aware, the Japanese fans, whether their team won or lost, stayed afterwards, once everyone was gone, and cleaned up the entire stadium, which just brought to light so much of the Japanese culture and their community, which brings me to both our young men here. They picked up from where we, as in athletics, teach them, and I know our wrestling community is such a tight-knit community. Some of you guys know more than others. It's such a tight-knit, and the culture that is instilled in them from the time they're young, from the time they're in kid wrestling, it's something that is instilled and it's brought up with them. So these two young men are on the JV team. So what hasn't been brought to light yet is that they were there as fans, not part of the team. They were there supporting their varsity team because they do know that one day they will be there as well. So once everything was said and done, and for any of you who've gone to one of these events, it's league championships. There's 8 or 9 teams of 30 or somewhat kids all day. That garbage is all over the place. And for them to take their time and without anyone, we usually see it on Instagram now, people doing acts of kindness when they're videotaping them so that it can be brought out. There was nobody videotaping them. It wasn't for them, for some publicity act. It was them out of the kindness of their hearts doing this. And this is a testament not just to you guys, but your family who's brought you up in such a great way to give back in any way. So I congratulate you both on just being just outstanding young human beings. And I just want to relate something from your coach, and he was sorry he couldn't be here tonight, but he said, Coach Coleman wanted me to share that Tyler and Julian are not only exceptional athletes, but exemplify the true character of a Brentwood wrestler by showing respect for their opponent, school, and taking upon themselves to clean up the trash left behind by others. The entire Brentwood wrestling program and community is proud of Tyler and Julian's actions. So once again, congratulations to the two of you.
Wait, we're not finished yet, Tyler and
We're
Julie.
not.
Hang on.
So on behalf of the Brentwood School District, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Julian Wood for your selfless act of kindness and attentiveness in assisting the cleaning of the William Floyd Gymnasium after the Suffolk County Wrestling Championships. Second recognition goes to Tyler Sada for your selfless act of kindness and attentiveness in assisting the cleaning of the William Floyd Gymnasium after the Suffolk County Wrestling Championships. Thank you, and you make us so proud.
If I could just say just something briefly, it sounds like we're making a big deal about something, and we are. But that's because you're always representing Brentwood, and you're representing a community. And, as a superintendent of that community, to the school community, to know that our kids, that I believe in all my heart that they are outstanding kids. Well, you guys represented us that day. And it was seen by other people, and now the word has spread out. So I think you've done us a great service. You might think it was not that big of a deal. Maybe, I don't know how long it took you to clean up the mess, but you represented every community member here in Brentwood, and that's a big deal. So we are very grateful. I'm not surprised because I'm very proud of our Brentwood kids, but I really want to thank you because, again, you have shown the world, okay, the world of Facebook, that we have outstanding kids here and very respectful, very kind, and very thoughtful kids. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, we'll get everyone looking over here.
What's he saying? Give us something funny to say. Kindness, all right, ready, on three, kindness. 1, 2, 3.
Kindness. There it is. Now, if you want to be funny, you could have said trash.
That's fun too, let's see that. Ready, on three, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Trash.
Anybody else want any photos over here? That one's good? All right, all good.
No, don't worry. It only took about 7. Bro, me too, bro. Oh, I took about 7.
I like this. Are you sure?
So while we're on the topic of wrestlers, I'm going to ask Mr. Herrera to come up and to speak to us a little bit about our wrestling world and the phenomenal things that have happened over the past month or so. I think it's something worth conversation and the community hearing about if they have not already on Facebook, such as Jason Uceda,
Absolutely.
Jocelyn Rojas. So just give us the breakdown of what's been going on.
Well, this winter's been absolutely great for our athletic programs. We've had some great success in several of our programs. We have a second-year bowling team who just won 6 games this year from starting, kids who have started bowling for the very first time last year. Now to win 6 games, 6 matches is just unbelievable. We've had our great success. We got our first-round playoff win just the other day for basketball. And we are facing Bayshore, our rivals across town, on Friday. So for anyone who wants to come and support, Friday at 5 o'clock at their gym. And the success of our wrestling program. They continue to amaze us every year. You know, we often talk about programs, and programs are what they are. Programs are just something that has been in the works from the time they're young men, or young babies, from the time we get them, sometimes as early as 5 years old. And they've continued to amaze us. So, yeah, just this past weekend, I know Mr. Lotion was there on Saturday. On Monday. I was there on Tuesday. I was able to watch some of our young men compete for the Suffolk County Championship individuals. We had 6 young men place, and Jason Uceda, who took first in the Suffolk County Championship. 2 of our young men will be representing us up at the States this upcoming weekend. So we have had some great success with all the programs that we have going on. And I'm excluding a couple right now because I was just put on the spot. So, but I mean, it's always a great thing to brag about our sports here in Brentwood.
Thank you. Just wanted to share that with the community while you were here.
Absolutely.
I know I put you on the spot, but thank you. Something
No
else
worries.
for us to be proud about?
I'm always proud to brag about our sports
Yeah,
programs.
something else for us to be proud about?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And can we just mention a couple of words about the cheerleaders?
Oh, you know,
I was gonna-
thank you, because I just came back. So
You were down in Florida.
I was
Forget
see,
that.
that's what happens when you put me on the spot. So this past weekend, we had I had the humbling experience to be part of a cheer team that is so great, and I can't reiterate how great these young women are. We traveled to Orlando, Florida this past weekend, and they competed on Saturday morning. Unfortunately, we did not make it through. It is so hard to go up against, I want to say there's over 600 teams that are competing at different times. And one little minute thing can cost you from going forward. And we unfortunately did not go through. But the experience that these girls had at this trip, when I tell you, smiles from ear to ear from the time they were cheering to the time they left. And it was such an experience for them and for myself and for the coaching staff, and the support that we got from the community, from others around the island. It was just so grateful. These girls absolutely needed that support. They loved it. They couldn't stop talking about it. And the entire trip was just a huge success. No matter how we did on that mat, it was just a great success. And, you know, I can relate from the coaches themselves. They want to thank everyone that was involved.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera.
All right.
Anybody else? Any other questions? So I know we went a little off script here, but I just thought it was noteworthy for the community here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great things that our athletic department is doing
Yeah,
and our
absolutely.
students.
And then,
So thank you for
I
that.
look forward to being here at the end of the spring.
All right.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, do we have any questions on agenda items?
Good evening, Carmen Oyola, Brentwood resident.
Good evening.
D1B, number 28.
D1B 28. Carla?
I didn't want to say the name. She resigned last month and she's being rehired, which is, her choice. My question is she going to be starting at step one or going to continue where she left off? That's,
I don't know offhand, but I would suspect, I can't really answer that. I'd have to talk to payroll and HR.
because I know that position wasn't posted yet because she just left
She just left and
in
she came back.
January, right? So, I mean, nice that she's back, but I was like, okay, what happened there? And then there was just, where was it? What was it?
And to be honest, we probably wouldn't be able to answer it.
Right.
It's a personnel issue.
No, just, like I said, she's rehired, not so much a replacement, she's being rehired. There was just one more, okay, I can't find it. Okay, thank you.
Well, if you think of it, you can always come back. Anyone else from the audience have any questions? Anyone at home? We're live, please feel free. Okay, so we'll move forward. Be it resolved that the following items be approved, B1A through B1M. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Cindy Seferi, I need a second. Second by Julie Burgos, all in favor? I'm sorry, yeses, noes, abstentions? Consent agenda.
B1. We're only on the first little bullet,
We're on the first one.
B, 1A.
B1A, B1M,
The B1M.
I have a first,
I know, don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
I have a motion by Cindy Seferi, a second by Julie Burgos. Yeses,
Yes.
noes, abstentions, so moved. Be it resolved that the following items be approved, B2A through B2S. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Julie Burgos. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Maria Malave.
I abstain.
Thank you. Yeses?
Yes.
Noes? Thank you for your abstention, Cindy. So moved. Be it resolved that the following items be approved, C1A and C1B. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Julie Burgos. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Simone Holder. Yeses?
Yes.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. Sorry. Okay. D1A, appointments, resignations, and leaves, certificated personnel. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the certificated personnel action report contained in the board packet for the February 15th, 2023 board meeting. I need a motion.
Motion.
Need a motion by Maria a motion made by Maria Malave. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Maria Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes, abstentions, so moved. D1B, appointments, resignations, and leaves, non-certificated personnel. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the non-certificated personnel action report contained in the board packet for the February 15th, 2023 board meeting. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Maria Malave. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Maria Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Thank you. So moved. D1C, four-year probationary period amended, Assistant Principal Elementary. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby amends the four-year probationary period for Robert Peterson as Assistant Principal Elementary effective February 13th, 2023 through February 12th, 2027, which was previously approved by the Board of Education on January 26th, 2023, to now reflect a four-year probationary period effective March 2nd, 2023 through March 1st, 2027. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Cindy Seferi. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Julie Burgos. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Noes? Abstentions?
Abstain.
So moved. D1D, ratification of memorandum of agreement between the Brentwood UFSD and Local 237. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Brentwood Union Free School District hereby approves and ratifies a certain memorandum of agreement dated February 15th, 2023, between the negotiating representatives of the Brentwood Union Free School District and the negotiating representatives of the Local 237 City Employees Union International Brotherhood of Teamsters. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Julie Burgos. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Seferi. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. Sorry, guys. Student enrollment figures. January enrollment figures, December 23rd, 2022, total enrollment 18,174. As of January 27th, 2023, 18,164 total enrollment. Special education enrollment figures, elementary, 1,151, middle school, 636, freshman center, 177, senior high school, 614. Attending out-of-district schools, I need some water. It's a mouthful today. Sorry.
It's all right. We understand.
It's the first time, okay? I got to take a sip of water. K through 12, 357. Resource room-related services, district residents, 55. Approved preschool programs, 414. Related services preschool programs, 179. Miscellaneous items for information only. Board action memos of the January 5th, 2023 BOE special meeting, January 19th, 2023 BOE business meeting, and January 26th, 2023 BOE special meeting. Principals report. Minutes of the January 19th, 2023 secondary leadership team meetings. Minutes of the January 11th, 2023 elementary leadership team meeting. Fourth informal budget board workshop, March 1st, 2023. Hope to see everyone there. The annual anti-bullying fashion movement show, Friday, March 3rd, 2023, West Middle School. Doors open at 6 p.m. The show begins at 7 p.m. and tickets are $10 in advance and $15 at the door. Do we have anyone that is collecting money for the tickets that we know of, that we can direct people to right now?
I am
You
not.
can go, when do they have it, on Monday nights? Mondays?
Well, they have Monday and Fridays over at the Sondling Senior Cafeteria. That's when the kids are putting together their outfits. That's when they're doing the sewing, they're singing, they're practicing. In terms of how to pick up the tickets, I'm not.
They might have reps at each of the
I have
schools
tickets.
though.
You can
Yeah.
notify us too.
But they can probably notify the principals of each building and see if they're.
To tell you the truth, the
No?
question was never asked, and I'm not
Is
too
that-
certain how they go.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted to be, if we could, since we're on
That's a
air,
good
just give them out
Yeah, I
that
have tickets,
information.
but I don't have enough for everybody.
I'm certain that, when we send a flyer out via Parent Square, it will say it on that. I just don't know. It's not a traditional, it's not like the musical where,
Right.
they were collecting money
Right.
electronically prior to the show. This is a little bit different, so I'm
Right.
not exactly certain how it's happening.
All right, thank you, Rich. Thank you, everyone, for contributing to that. Board of Education Business Meeting, March 16th, 2023. Informal Curriculum Workshop, Young Authors Night, Monday, March 20th, 2023, at 7 PM. Is that going to be held at South? Do we have a
Is
location
it South
for
Middle
that?
this year? Oh, no, is it the high school? We did it
Yeah, high school.
Oh, we did.
yeah, we did it at the Sondling
Yes.
Auditorium last year.
That's right.
At the Sonderling Auditorium on March 20th.
Yes.
Okay. And the 5th Informal Budget Board Workshop on March 30th, 2023. Old and new business.
Okay, we had, as the athletic director just told us, we actually have quite a few things that went on athletically. We also had other things happening. And that was the high school musical Grease was a tremendous success, thanks in large part to the amazing students who participated in the creativity, talent, and teamwork of the entire cast and crew, the band, the orchestra, and the teachers who gave up countless hours to ensure every moment of the show was perfect. Your hard work and dedication paid off in an exceptional show. I have to say, I saw it twice. It was incredible. I also want to express my gratitude to the BTA for their generosity and commitment to hosting the pasta dinner for the senior citizens after the show last Thursday evening. Your energy and passion did not go unnoticed, and I really do want to thank the BTA for that. That was terrific. At the last minute, they stepped up, and there were lots of teacher volunteers serving the senior citizens. I will say that evening, which we, at least 200 to 300 senior citizens showed up. They loved every moment of it. We actually have senior citizens from other towns crashing our party, but anybody is invited. I tell you what, the show itself too was really energetic. It was terrific. Their voices, their dancing, the choreography was tremendous. And I really want to thank Rachel Fazzola, Mark Jackson. They are the directors and the choreographers. Angel Perez coordinates quite a bit as the coordinator of Performing and Fine Arts. Just a really uplifting. We hope to actually have them at a board meeting where they can sing one or two songs for us. And that's going to hopefully take place in March. The Youth and Government Club participated in a field trip to the Suffolk County Legislature's office. Actually, I was there this morning. All 4 middle schools went. It was just terrific. Again, so proud of our kids, the way they represented themselves and the district. And the legislators was just so impressed with the students. The questions that they asked, they had to pose laws. It was really quite a session. I want to thank particularly Sammy Gonzalez, who helped set that up. Students spent the day with local government representatives, learning more about the legislative process. East Middle School hosted its second annual EMS Talks, where over 40 professionals from various parts of the country visited the school to share their stories and journeys with our students. Once again, it was a successful event. It was the second year. They style it in the like TED Talks, and we had quite a few alumni came back in all different professions, professional professions. We had the Senator Martinez was here. Obviously, she was a graduate as well as an employee here, an administrator, a teacher, an administrator. All different professions were represented here, and I really do want to thank everybody who came back. Plus, I want to thank the staff of East Middle School for putting on this terrific event. It really is something else. Black History Month celebrations have begun. Today at East Middle School, students from Miss Rotolo's class researched the contribution of African Americans and presented their PowerPoint slides to parents and administrators. We are proud of their academic achievement and especially impressed by their confidence at this level to present to a large audience. At the high school, also today after school, Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison, presented his life journey and accomplishment and asked for their input in how to best establish community relationships. And again, Ms. Ortiz was there, and I heard the MBK students were terrific. The Commissioner Harrison really listened to their concerns, and hopefully many of their ideas will be put into action. Tomorrow at Oak Park, students are also celebrating Black History Month with a Guess Who scavenger hunt in the gymnasium. There will be more tributes and celebrations after the winter break, and we will be sure to capture them on our Friday weekly newsletter to the community. It's also great when people come together to have a good time and celebrate love, kindness, and friendship. P.S. I love you, Valentine's Day, and the 100th day of school events, which actually was today. I'm forgetting when everything was. There was like 20 things today. Love is in the air, that's right, Miss Palmer. So the 100th day of school events offered our students the opportunity to make lasting memories with their teachers and peers. I did love lots of the schools. They actually were, acting like 100-year-old people. So Dr. Snell was out there with a big old beard greeting the kids. Kids are walking around with gray beards and canes and gray hair. It was actually pretty funny. I just want to take a moment to thank all the administrators, teachers, students, and their families for their school spirit and for going above and beyond with your creativity and dedication to making Brentwood such a special and fun place to learn and grow. From purple balloons and decorations to making thoughtful Valentine's Day cards for our veterans. Also, we had Valentine for Veterans. Did I mention that in here? I didn't. Valentine for Veterans, which also many of the schools participated in. I want to thank, again, Sammy Gonzalez and lots of veterans who came over and collected the cards from various elementary schools. All these efforts combined to make February a very special month. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rich. So before we move on to the public comment, I just wanted to bring up that we've had a couple of inquiries about financial literacy and what are we doing as a district. So if you could just speak on it a little bit, nothing too elaborate, Rich,
Sure.
because I know Wanda's going to present in more detail during her budget meeting.
Yes.
Presentation. So if you could just give us a little tidbit
Sure.
of what's going on in the district.
Yeah, there are some people have asked about financial literacy, and I just wanted to say that we actually do have several courses that incorporate financial literacy in it over at the high school. And as you mentioned earlier, Ms. Ortiz in her presentation, what's the date of your delivery? March 2nd. Okay, that actually
It's March
March 1st. I didn't think March 1st.
Yeah, we moved it. Sorry.
Okay. We're going to be waiting for you on March 1st, Ms. Ortiz. So on March 1st, she will speak to lots of the courses. As a matter of fact, Ms. Ortiz is also looking to put in a financial literacy course in the 8th grade next year. But I do want you to know that this year in the business department, we have the financial literacy. It's incorporated into some of our business courses, which have, we have a stockbroker class, we have a creating businesses class. There's about 5 or 6, and believe it or not, I think, Ponch, you rubbed off on me here. I can't remember, I had about 5 or 6 classes. I can't remember any of them right now. I don't know why. So there's a whole bunch of classes in the business department. We've actually added staff members to the business department. Probably will add some more classes next year. We do recognize the need for students to be more financially aware. And that is something the state has actually spoken about in many of their communiques to district, and it's something that we feel strongly about as well. But I know Ms. Ortiz will will present the different courses when she gives her presentation in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Wanda. Thank you so much. We look forward to that.
We were in special ed, financial math.
Our financial math,
Learn how to budget, how to manage a checkbook.
right, pay bills and write the
Thank you,
whole bit.
Wanda. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing
I
that.
just want to, the inquiries I have received from parents have been more geared towards personal finance, some of the things that, Ms. Young just mentioned.
Right.
So I know we may have a class, I'm not sure, but if we don't, that's something that maybe we can, kind of build into our curriculum as well.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you for your input. We appreciate it. So something that has come down from the state as a mandate is changing the school mascot. So I know our student liaisons have asked us, well, what's the plan? And we have spoken about, going out to the Shinnecock Nation and probably some others to try to gain favor with them and plead our case. Ms. Burgos has done extensive research. Thank you for that, for your time and efforts in researching. And she has come up with some reasons why we need to change it, and she'll be sharing that.
Can I speak to that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So as a graduate of Brentwood, right, an alumni, and I have, children who are alumni and sisters who are alumni, I think the name that we have, Brentwood Indians, it just like clings to our hearts, right? And the images that we don't really have a mascot, but we do have the image of our, Indian in headdress that it's in most of our buildings when we walk in. It's, in different pieces of artwork, and I see a lot of bees with feathers, on the clothing that we wear. It's something that's close to our hearts. So we've been talking about this for a while, but it wasn't real as when the state made it a mandate. So as of December, I believe, we're now mandated by New York State to change any name, image, logo, mascot. Any public school in New York State who has any of those needs to change them by the end of the school year, or it will affect and impact our funding. So it's no longer an option or a choice, it's a mandate. So that's what kind of, caused me to do the research, because one of the exceptions to that mandate is that if we do have a written authorization from a local tribe, that we can keep our name. So I know Mr. Lochner has been on the phone trying to get in touch with somebody from the Shinnecock Nation. The Shinnecock tribe is the only federally recognized tribe on Long Island. So even though there are others, the mandate specifically speaks to getting permission from a federally recognized tribe. So I've done a lot of research, and it turns out that, and we all know that this is a national movement. It's not just here in Brentwood. It's not just in New York State. A lot of sports teams have changed their names. Some communities have had to change their names. And what I found in our research is that it's not just changing the name, but the impact that keeping that image or keeping that name has on the Indian nation. So I just want to stress that this is something that's driven by the Indian nation themselves, right? They are asking that sports teams, communities, school districts change the name and the logo because it is offensive to them. The name Indian, we know, has not been used for many, probably decades by now, but, because it's our name, we have kept it. And even though we are enamored with it, it's not the appropriate way to address the Native American, nation in our country. And besides that, there are also other impacts that have to do with how we think about the Native American, population and the place that we kind of keep them on by keeping these names, and the emotional impact. There's been studies made about how children develop their self-esteem and have some difficulties when they see an image that doesn't really represent them, yet is being attributed to them. And I do have that data. We can maybe, probably put it out on our website so people can look at it themselves. And I just want to make sure that we give everybody in our district an opportunity to really take this in, right? Because it's a very emotional thing. I try not to cry, but it's emotional when you grow up with a certain image, and then you have to give it up. So we have no choice, really. We have been trying, and
Well, I have spoken to them.
But
Yes.
but we don't have the authority yet. So from what I've read, you know,
I
so
don't
many
think
other
we're going to
districts
get it
have.
either.
Yeah, so many other districts have tried even here on Long Island. And I think we need to respect the request that's being made of our Native Americans. You know, they've been disrespected many, many times over. So we don't want to be a part of that. So as much as it hurts us, it's not really about us. It's really about them and their nation and the respect that they do deserve in our communities. So you'll be hearing more about it because as we move through this, you know, we will be also having to choose a different name, logo, image. So it's something that I know the students already have been working on, but we do need it to be a community-wide effort. So we'll be putting things out, maybe a survey, and putting information out more publicly on our website so that people have a chance to really look at it, look at the data, look at the information, and know that, you know, we're not acting out of malice, we're not acting out of selfishness. We're really acting out of something that needs to be done. And that's it. We'll just move forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. No, I appreciate that. I have spoken to the Shinnecock tribe, some representatives out there. And the gentleman's name is actually Stallion Warcry, a terrific young man. He and his sister are actually going to come out. I actually spoke to him earlier today. I spoke to him, you know, a few days back, and we're actually coordinating a time for he and his sister to come out and meet with us as a school community. And I've spoken to him a few times, and what we're trying to do is kind of make this an educational opportunity for all of us, not just, you know, I don't want, the board certainly doesn't want to just make this decision, you know, themselves. They want to include the students and the community. And I'm really anxious to meet with them, to hear what their thoughts are. I will tell you, he knew exactly why I was calling. And just as you said, Julie, you know, I was going to feel him out to see if there was any wiggle room. Would they accept the word Indian? And, you know, he unequivocally said no. You know, the Indian word is offensive to them. I said, well, could you please come out, meet with us as a school community? Because I think it's a great opportunity for kids to learn why this is so. And I asked them if they could be part of the process from us moving to the Brentwood Indians, from the Brentwood Indians to whatever. So I'm really looking forward to meeting with them myself. I'll meet with them probably individually, and then we'll set up some times where they can meet with kids. We've already had the student liaisons who are very interested. I've received several emails from students. I know the board has spoken to students. So we really kind of want to get them involved, and then eventually we will send out a survey to the school community for them to respond as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just think it's important that we kind of put it out there as much as possible, because like I said, I think people need time to really process this in their minds, you know, to really understand the reasons why. Most people don't. I know anybody who I've spoken to has the initial reaction of, what do you mean? We can't do that. It's our, you know, like, it's our Indian. We become very possessive, but it's really not. So we do need to just give people time to really digest the reasons why and understand why it is that we're doing this.
And as long as we continue to keep them part of the process, it becomes more palatable, right? It's a loss.
Yeah.
It definitely is a loss.
It is. Well, listen, you know, I can't imagine the alumni that went through here. There are districts that have experienced this. I've spoken to them. It is traumatic. I mean, but I think you guys have said it well, that it's really being thoughtful about the Indians and how offensive that is to them, because it's not about us. It's about how we're offending a people. And but I do recognize, I mean, there are current, obviously, kids who are playing, you know, representing Brentwood Indians. The alumni that goes back 50 and 60 years, obviously, like you said, Julie, it's going to take some time for us to get used to this. I will tell you, East Islip, just a couple of towns away, they did change their name. I believe it's their second year now. They were called the Redmen. I'm not certain. Wait, is it Pride? Yeah, Pride? That didn't ring, yeah, it's Pride now. So, you know, there's lots of opportunities. I know kids, as you said, have already been working on it in school. I've heard some of them have spoken to me about different names. And that's kind of, you know, if we can kind of turn it into a learning experience and then kind of fun as we kind of here in 2023 come up with a new name that will live in, for the next 50 years. I mean, that's pretty cool. So if we kind of turn it into a learning event and then a fun event, maybe it'll be okay.
Also, I think it could be a learning opportunity, and a way to maybe build a bond with the Native American tribe that we have right here. I mean, they're only like, miles away. So that maybe we can have a closer bond. And I think that's a better way to show our legacy and respect than just having a name and a logo. So that we can build in some real opportunities for collaboration between the tribe and our children. And I even mentioned, maybe even some research. They have some environmental issues going on in their reservation. They have some social justice issues. There's so much that we can really collaborate on that I hope that we're able to, form that bond now that we're making
I
the
think it was
connection.
ironic that we started to have this conversation during homecoming. I think it was Miss Palmer, I think Wanda and Rhonda was also on the floor with
we
you and
did.
I and Cindy, and we were discussing this, like what we would like to build out of it. And just to your point, just having that relationship, bringing them in, bringing the culture in, so that the students become familiar with it. It's a learning experience.
The one thing that anybody who I've mentioned this to, their concern is that we're going to forget the legacy of the Indian contributions in our own community, in our own land. So that's why I say we can't let history be erased. We can't let history, be forgotten. So we need to keep it alive. And what better way than to have that actual connection with people who belong to the Native American community, come and share their experiences with us, and us going out there and being helpful to them as well. I think it's a mutual helping situation.
So it doesn't just become about the name.
Yeah, well, that's a
Right.
good thing to remember, Julie, what you said, and that is, we're not erasing history. I mean, there's been lots of championship teams, and I say teams, obviously, because that's a lot of times you associate athletic teams with the name. That will always be a part of our history, their championships, their successes, their failures, and everything in between. That's always going to be a part of our history. I don't think that, but I hear what you're saying. We don't want to erase it.
Well, we don't want to erase that, but moving forward, we don't want our children who are coming up to not know,
Right.
some of that history. And not just our history here in Brentwood, but just historically the contributions of the Native Americans. So, that's it.
Thank you, Julie.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so we'll move on to G1B, public comments.
I'm loud enough. Carmen Oyola, Brentwood resident. I agree, it's sad, and you say to yourself, well, unfortunately, the state says you have to, but throughout the buildings, this is what you see, so we're looking at how do you cover it, how do you replace it? Like, that's a big cost, and what do you do with what you take off? Where do you throw it out? How do you get, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can find something, I don't know, better than that. But on D1B, I found it number 41. And that was the loss that we recently had. And I just want to ask, if possible, I know when I was trying to get the 6.5 hours for this member along with the other one, it took a while and I finally got it. If possible, when advertising and posting this position, can it remain at 6.5? It is someone that is definitely needed at that building at Oak Park. She's not going to be replaced, she's not going to do it exactly, but what she did was important and useful, and so if we can keep that 6.5 hours, so whoever comes can be trained and continue to do what this person, did in the past, unfortunately. So if that can be an option when it's
Sure.
posted. And then the other thing is we're doing now more, we have to do the evacuation practice and what have you. And one of the things, as a health monitor, working with the nurse, one of the things we have to take are the medications and the emergency cards. Well, we really need a medical card. I know it was purchased for the high school because there was one time they had to be out, there was something, they had to be evacuated, I think for 2 or 3 hours. And in that time frame, the child needed their medicine. Well, it was in the nurse's office, and that was, so I think all health offices should have this mobile cart so that everything is there, all the medications. So fortunately, we have these evacuations and we have to move fast. We don't have time to be loading things and moving so that all can have that medical cart. Instead of, what I'm asking is, instead of it be to come out of the principal's budget, let it come out of the district budget, because it's a need, it's a safety need. We all need it. The high school one was a larger one, again, because it's to cover each building, so you're talking 2 carts, which had to be big enough to cover the medication for the students that are there, and extra supplies for anybody else needing Band-Aids or medical assistance in that time frame, whatever's going on, if need be. So the freshman center, I guess, would have a larger one, the middle schools. The elementary can maybe downsize the model. There are some with 6 drawers, some with 5. Maybe the smaller ones have the 5-drawer one. Again, these carts have to be movable, they have to have a handle, they have to have the nice big wheels, because sometimes we're walking through the grass and the bumpy roads, it's not even. And I would ask, if possible, the 3 larger elementary schools, which is Southwest, Northeast, and even Oak Park, because we have a big population of students with needs. So if those schools can have a little bigger size one than the smaller buildings. But instead of the principal's budget, if it comes out of the district's budget, I think we don't have time to, we can choose, prices and finagle here and there, get discounts and what have you, but at the end of the day, we need to get those cards as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Something we could look into, please? Thank
Yeah,
you so
definitely.
much. Thank you, Ms. Ayala. Anyone else from the community have any questions? Anything fellow board members would like to share, ask, contribute?
Shepherd's Gate had a beautiful Valentine's Day
Oh,
party.
that's right. We missed that. We didn't miss it. We had a
We went.
quick dance there.
Thank you for representing
There,
us.
honestly, there's just too many things going on.
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, we are just running around crazy every day. It really is wonderful. Every school is doing something every single day to really give different experiences to our kids. It's really, I think we're in it so much, we don't appreciate it. I do, my kids grew up in Connecticut, and they don't have half the experiences, a fraction of the experiences that we give our kids. And that's because our teachers and our administrators are just so focused on doing as much as possible for our kids, and I think it's terrific. But every day, there's got to be 6, 7, 8 things.
We're getting him roller skates.
No, I mean, we all just drive from building to building to building, because we don't want to miss an event. We want to make sure that they know that we care, that they're doing this, and, but we do miss a lot, but we make a lot.
So tomorrow we have 2 of our very own being honored by legislator Sam Gonzalez for Black History Month, April Sinise and Chief Taylor.
All right, yes.
So if anyone is available, please show up at the Dennison Building, I believe at 5 p.m. Am I wrong?
No, wait a minute, there's an event at the library.
No, they changed.
No, they changed
They
it.
did?
Yeah, it's the Dennison Building now.
And isn't there going to be something at the end of February where we're honoring like 10 people?
We're honoring a lot of people.
And-
on the 28th.
The 28th, and,
I'll send something out.
Right.
A flyer's going out.
Okay.
We just completed.
and who's doing that now? Who's?
That's SEPTA.
SEPTA. Oh, that's right, SEPTA is on,
Yes.
that's right.
There'll be a lot of,
Yeah, so I
It'll be a
just
nice
wanted,
event.
yeah, I just want to reiterate regarding what we touched on, what Ms. Burgos touched on and Mr. Loshna regarding the Indian logo. It will be a collaborative effort. The community, the students, the stakeholders will be involved. It will not happen overnight. There will be plenty of conversation, input, and so we just want to make sure everyone knows that no one will be excluded from this process, because it affects our community, everyone in our community.
Right.
And with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second? Second? Maria? I gotta hear it. All right, have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right.
Thank you.